trying to do on this turnover. Like, there were a couple of real bad moving screens. Again, I don't know what. Actually, just set up Natisha Heidemann for a basket there. And by the way, this is all in the first quarter. This is all in the first quarter here. And then I don't know what the hell that was. Like, that was a mega travel into a... It was a fake. She pump faked the dribble. She pump faked the dribble right here.
The WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis became a case study in sports economics and marketing timing when Caitlin Clark's injury announcement fundamentally altered the event's dynamics. What was anticipated to be a breakthrough moment for women's basketball instead revealed the league's heavy dependence on individual star power. The weekend had been positioned as a pivotal showcase for women's professional basketball, with expectations of record attendance, unprecedented media coverage, and mainstream sports cultural penetration. Corporate sponsors invested heavily in campaigns designed around anticipated matchups, particularly focusing on competitive narratives between prominent players.
And it is one of those things that the Lynx have kind of half exposed. Because, by the way, this was the first time a team really pressured point forward Angel. This is the first time she's been really pressured. And by the way, if we're being honest, if we're being completely honest, this is going to be good for Angel Reese's development. There's going to be a lot of ugly games. We said it at the start of the year. There's going to be a lot of ugly games. Going to be a lot of really, really ugly games when it comes.
Clark's groin injury announcement just days before the festivities created immediate ripple effects throughout the event's economic ecosystem. Fans who had planned months in advance, booking flights and accommodations specifically to witness her performance in her home state, suddenly faced a completely different value proposition. Indianapolis businesses had prepared for tourism levels comparable to major sporting events, with restaurants staffing up and hotels experiencing sellout conditions. The marketing infrastructure was already fully deployed, with promotional campaigns, special merchandise releases, and media coverage plans, all centered around Clark's anticipated participation.
A lot of really, really ugly games when it comes to Angel Reese in this point forward role, because teams, she's not a very good passer. She's not. No matter what people want to say, she's not a very good passer. She's okay at like dumping. She's okay at like dumping the ball down to somebody or occasionally kicking for a shot. She's okay at that. And she's gotten better at taking less dumb shots. She has gotten better at that. And I have to say, like, she has gotten much, much better. And her...
The economic impact proved immediate and dramatic. Ticket price data from multiple sources showed a precipitous decline in market value following the injury announcement. Average ticket prices dropped from $121 to $64, representing a 48% decrease that occurred within hours of the news breaking. This wasn't merely a minor market adjustment, but rather a fundamental revaluation of the entire event's worth. Secondary market analysis revealed that some ticket categories experienced even steeper declines, with certain matchups losing up to 71% of their projected value.
She has gotten much, much better. And her, she's legitimately been much, much better this season. But tonight was one of those ugly games. There's going to happen. For every good game Angel Reese plays in this new system, she's going to have a bad game. She's going to have a bad game. And this one was ugly. This one was ugly. And for some reason, can somebody explain to me why Angel Reese keeps driving at Klindakova? Like, Klindakova has literally blocked Angel Reese 6 times this season. By herself.
The pricing collapse extended beyond simple supply and demand mechanics. It demonstrated how thoroughly Clark's presence had become intertwined with fan interest and willingness to pay premium prices for WNBA content. Previous data from regular season games showed similar patterns when Clark missed contests due to earlier injuries. Historical context reveals this level of individual player impact as unprecedented in women's professional sports. While other leagues have experienced star-driven attendance fluctuations, the magnitude and immediacy of these price changes suggested something fundamentally different about Clark's market influence. Corporate sponsors faced immediate challenges as their carefully planned marketing strategies suddenly required rapid adjustments. Television networks had to recalibrate programming expectations and promotional messaging. Event packages that had sold out based on projected demand now appeared overvalued relative to actual fan interest. Against this backdrop of economic uncertainty, Angel Reese chose to launch a significant marketing campaign centered around territorial messaging in Indianapolis. Her shoe collaboration with Reebok featured prominent billboard advertising and social media content emphasizing themes of urban takeover and competitive dominance. The campaign's timing raised questions about strategic judgment and competitive sportsmanship. Marketing experts noted that launching territorial messaging in a competitor's home market while that competitor faces injury challenges creates complex optics around fairness and opportunism. Reese's social media content incorporated music and messaging that explicitly referenced taking control of opponents' territories. The campaign materials were designed to generate conversation and media attention, which they succeeded in achieving, though not necessarily in ways that enhanced her public image. The contrast between competitive approaches became evident through fan reactions and media analysis. While Clark had historically demonstrated her dominance through on-court performance rather than marketing messaging, Reese's approach emphasized promotional campaigns and verbal positioning. Basketball performance data supported this competitive narrative disparity. Clark's statistical achievements, including unique WNBA records for assists and scoring combinations, provided substantive backing for any competitive claims. Her career-high performances in opposing team markets demonstrated how athletic excellence could serve as territorial messaging. Reese's campaign faced criticism for appearing to capitalize on circumstances beyond competitive basketball. Social media responses ranged from appreciation for bold marketing to questions about timing sensitivity and sportsmanship consideration. The broader competitive dynamic revealed what many analysts characterized as asymmetrical rivalry engagement. While one player focused primarily on basketball excellence and team success, the other consistently emphasized promotional activities and public positioning relative to competitors. This pattern extended beyond the All-Star Weekend incident to encompass broader career trajectory decisions. Marketing partnerships, media appearances, and social media strategies showed distinct approaches to professional brand development and competitive positioning. The weekend's economic lessons proved instructive for league development and future event planning. The dramatic ticket price fluctuations highlighted both opportunities and vulnerabilities in building sustainable fan engagement beyond individual star power. WNBA leadership faced immediate questions about economic diversification and reducing dependence on single-player appeal. While star-driven growth offers tremendous upside potential, the weekend demonstrated corresponding downside risks when key performers become unavailable. Local business impact extended far beyond ticket sales to encompass hospitality, retail, and service sectors throughout Indianapolis. Restaurants, hotels, and tourism-related businesses experienced reduced traffic and revenue compared to projections based on anticipated attendance level. The situation created additional complexity when players chose the weekend to stage visible protests regarding compensation and working conditions. Wearing coordinated shirts demanding improved pay and benefits during warm-up periods, players highlighted ongoing labor negotiations with league management. The protest timing generated significant discussion about strategic communication and public relations effectiveness. Critics noted that staging labor demonstrations during a weekend already challenged by reduced fan interest and economic uncertainty created additional negative messaging layers. Supporters of the player protest argued that high-visibility events provide necessary platforms for addressing legitimate workplace concerns. The ongoing collective bargaining negotiations involve substantial issues including travel conditions, salary structures, roster sizes, and family support policy. The economic contradiction between demanding increased compensation while the event's market value was simultaneously declining created complex public perception challenges. Fan reactions on social media reflected confusion and frustration with the timing of labor messaging. League officials attempted to frame the negotiations as productive and forward-looking, emphasizing the upcoming media rights deal worth $2.2 billion beginning in 2026. However, players expressed dissatisfaction with management's approach to revenue sharing and salary cap discussion. The weekend ultimately served as a comprehensive case study in sports marketing, economics, and strategic communications. Multiple stakeholders learned lessons about event planning, star dependency, competitive messaging, and labor relations timing. For Clark specifically, the weekend demonstrated her irreplaceable role in current WNBA economics, while also highlighting the pressure and responsibility that accompanies such market influence. Her injury didn't just affect one event, but rather revealed the entire league's growth trajectory dependence. Future event planning will likely incorporate strategies for maintaining fan engagement and economic viability, even when key stars face availability challenges. The weekend's lessons about pricing elasticity and consumer behavior provide valuable data for league development. The marketing campaign decisions made during the weekend will influence how players and their representatives approach competitive messaging and brand development. The mixed reactions to territorial marketing during opponent injury periods may establish informal guidelines for future promotional timing. Overall, the weekend revealed both the tremendous potential and inherent fragility of rapid league growth built around individual star power, while highlighting the importance of strategic timing in marketing, labor relations, and competitive positioning. The Chicago Sky suffered a decisive defeat against the top-seeded Minnesota Lynx, with Angel Reese experiencing one of her most challenging performances of the season. The loss highlighted several ongoing concerns about team chemistry and individual player development within Chicago's evolving system. Reese's statistical output painted a concerning picture, finishing with a 2 of 6 shooting performance while committing 9 turnovers against just 3 assists. The turnover total represented a particularly troubling aspect of her night, as several giveaways occurred during crucial moments that shifted game momentum decisively toward Minnesota. Despite her struggles throughout regulation, Reese demonstrated her characteristic late-game aggressiveness during garbage time, scoring 7 points in the fourth quarter on consecutive possession. This pattern reflects a recurring theme where her intensity and shot selection improve significantly when games reach non-competitive stages, raising questions about maintaining consistent energy levels throughout complete content. The performance becomes more significant when considering Reese's excellent July production prior to this setback. Her recent month had featured improved decision-making and more selective shot attempts, suggesting genuine development within Chicago's point-forward system. However, Minnesota's defensive pressure exposed remaining weaknesses in her playmaking responsibilities. This matchup represented the first instance where opposing teams applied sustained pressure specifically targeting Reese's ball handling duty. The Lynx game plan successfully disrupted Chicago's offensive flow by forcing turnovers during critical possessions, demonstrating how elite defenses can neutralize developing point forwards through strategic pressure. Several specific turnovers highlighted fundamental issues with Reese's current skill development. Multiple possessions featured questionable release points, including shots attempted from unusual positions that suggested uncertainty under defensive pressure. Additional mistakes included traveling violations and pump fake attempts that failed to create meaningful advantages. The game also featured several problematic moving screen violations that went uncalled, though referees maintained inconsistent standards throughout the contest. These infractions typically occur when players fail to establish proper positioning before contact, creating advantageous situations through illegal means.